Hey there. Ever noticed how you can be a totally different person depending on which aisle you're in at the supermarket? I mean, one minute you're a super focused detective, and the next, you're just on total autopilot. Well, today we're going to unpack the really cool psychology behind our food shopping habits. Okay? Let's get into it. Seriously, think about this for a second. Why would a chef spend weeks researching the perfect industrial oven, but you and I will just grab the same old brand of salt we've always bought without even blinking? It feels kind of random, right? But believe it or not, there's a really clear logic behind it, and it explains pretty much everything about why you buy what you buy. So it turns out that all this seemingly complex behavior actually boils down to just two super simple factors. And once you get these, I promise, you're going to see your own shopping trips in a completely new light. Okay, first up is what we call involvement. Just think of this as how much mental energy you're willing to spend. Is it a big deal purchase? Is there a chance you might pick the wrong one? The more it matters to you, the higher your involvement is going to be. And the second piece of this puzzle is brand difference. This is all about what you see. When you look at all the options on the shelf, do they all kind of blur together like, say, table salt? Or do they seem totally unique and distinct, like different models of a car? So here's the cool part. When you plot these two things on a simple grid, you get four clear quadrants. You've got high versus low involvement on one side, and big versus small brand differences on the other. And inside these four boxes, well, that's where we find our four inner shoppers. All right, this is where it gets really fun. Let's meet the four different personalities that pop out of this matrix. And I'm willing to bet you'll recognize yourself in at least one of these, maybe even all of them. First up, we have complex buying behavior. This is what happens when your involvement is super high and you see huge, significant differences between the brands. This is you in full-on researcher mode. You activate this personality for things that are pricey, maybe a little risky, or something you just don't buy very often. You're going to do your homework. You're going to read all the reviews, compare all the features, and just soak up as much info as you can before you make a move. And this example just nails it perfectly. That restaurant owner isn't just buying an oven. They're making a massive investment in their business. The cost is high, the impact is huge, and the brands are very different. That absolutely demands a complex, careful decision. Okay, on to our next shopper. Now, what happens when you're still really involved in the purchase, but you don't really see much of a difference between the brands? That's when you get dissonance-reducing buying behavior. So in this case, the purchase is still a big deal, probably because it costs a bit, but all the options look kind of the same. And this can lead to that nagging feeling you get after you buy something. That little voice in your head that asks, did I actually make the right choice? Well, that's what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. This is so relatable, right? Imagine buying a giant bag of rice or a big jug of cooking oil. It's a staple. You're going to use it for a while, so it feels important. But the brands all seem pretty much identical. You kind of just pick one, and maybe later you find yourself looking at an ad for it just to feel reassured you made a good call. All right, let's switch gears. What happens when the purchase is no big deal and all the brands look the same? Well, then you shift right into habitual buying behavior mode. This is your brain on autopilot. We are talking about the cheap, everyday stuff. You don't waste precious mental energy comparing options. You just grab what you always grab. The decision is totally automatic. It's a shortcut your brain absolutely loves. This is the perfect example. Think salt, sugar, seasoning cubes. You buy the same brand your family has used forever, not because you've done some scientific taste test, but just because it's familiar. It is a habit, pure and simple. And for our last shopper, we've got a really fun one, variety-seeking buying behavior. This kicks in when your involvement is low, but you actually see a whole lot of differences between the brands. Now, the really important thing to get here is the why. You're not switching brands because you're unhappy with the last one. Nope. You're switching just for the fun of trying something new. It's a really low-risk way to add a little spice to your life. Come on, we have all been this person, standing in the snack aisle, just looking at all the different chips or cookies or sodas. You're not about to start researching them, but you might think, well, I had chocolate last week, so let's try the new salted caramel flavor this time. It's all about the joy of variety. So why does any of this actually matter? Well, because food companies and marketers study these behaviors like crazy. They literally design their products and their ads to appeal directly to whichever one of your inner shoppers is at the wheel. And this table right here, this is basically their playbook. See, if you're in that deep research mode,
Brands will just feed you tons of data and reviews to make you feel confident. If they think you might have buyer's remorse, they'll hit you with good warranties and ads that make you feel great about your choice after you've already bought it. For your habits, they just make sure they are always on the shelf, consistent and reliable. And for the variety seeker in you, they will tempt you with a constant stream of new flavors and limited editions because they know you're always looking for the next best thing. So here's the bottom line, the most crucial point of all of this. Your seemingly small individual decisions add up to create massive trends. The way you shop literally tells companies what to make, how to package it, and how to sell it. You're not just a passive consumer, you are actively shaping the entire food market.
So next time you're pushing that cart down the aisle, take a second and look at what you're buying. Are you being the careful researcher, the loyalist on autopilot, or the curious explorer? Recognizing your own inner shopper, well, that's the first step to becoming a smarter, more conscious consumer. What do you think you'll discover?